Right. Right.
Oh, we should only give them like
Stop with it.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
No, I'm serious, 3 minutes. And here's my, just so that you guys know, and I will share this with. I'd like to call to order the November 18th regular meeting. Ms. Allen, will you please call the roll?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Will you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now have the mission statement read by Mr. Colin Stone and Miss Aaliyah Hicks, both from Madison Park Elementary.
Cute.
The mission of the Trotwood-Madison City Schools is to graduate all students prepared to excel in a global society with a commitment to lifelong learning by guaranteeing a challenging curriculum facilitated by an innovative and dedicated staff community participation in state-of-the-art resources and a stimulating atmosphere.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Such a good job. Thank you so much. Wow, a great job.
That was really nice.
Yes, I think that's the first time we've had a team effort.
I think you're right. I think you're exactly
And they're
right.
so cute.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. I now need a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Do we have any additions or changes to the agenda this evening?
Yes.
Okay, what are we adopting or changing?
I would like to add a presentation for the Westbrook Village Student Council. They are to be inducted tonight by our president, Myra Bozeman.
Okay, where are we going to add that?
We're going to add that. We can actually have it be the next thing that we do.
Okay, so we'll do that right before community comments?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I would like for you to add Travis Bean to the list of presentations on the supplemental advisors.
Okay, Travis Bean,
Yes.
and that's
our
the band director.
Mhm.
And is there anything else that needs to get added? Board, anything, do we have anything else?
Only the resolution about the substitutes. I thought it was on the agenda, but it's a hand carry, right?
Yes.
So this is just matching for current school year and next year what the state legislature has said is appropriate for substitute teachers in regards to not needing anything higher than associate's degrees.
Okay, where are we going to put that, Mr. Scarce? Where you want to put it?
We can put it under board report,
Okay. Board report, so.
or we can put it on the consent agenda. That way it just is approved with everything else.
Okay, so like, 4E?
4E, yeah.
And I think also, for the executive session, we need to add something to that. We have for the executive session that it is to be, let's see here. I think, Ms. Allen, you were saying that we have that it went out, that it was to be, that we were going to be talking about,
The second part, to consider the purchase of property.
yeah, it's on here, but you're saying that it was not sent out that
It was
way?
on one side of the board docs and not another side, so I just wanted to bring to your attention and to the public that it was part of the description, but it wasn't part of the agenda description. So I just wanted to make sure the public saw that it was added in terms of the executive session and while we were going into executive session. So I wanted to just be as transparent as we could.
Okay, because I know we do have it on ours, but you just didn't think that the public saw it. So we
Yeah.
do have, is it up there? Let's see. Can we move it up a little bit to see, what does it say on? Can we move board docs up?
It has to go down to executive
Down to the
session,
bottom so we can
all the
see
way
what it
down
says.
to the executive session.
Here we go.
Right there.
Right there. Can we go down so we can read it? Keep going. You had it, you just kind of,
Yeah, because-
keep going.
yeah, it won't stay down because it's live.
Okay. I just thought I saw it for a second, and I was trying to see what it said to see if we had it for the public. But in any event, I just wanted to say that we have it here, that we're going to be going into executive session to consider the appointment, dismissal, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual per BOE policy 0166 and ORC 121.22 G1, and to consider the purchase of property for public purposes, the sale of property at competitive bidding, or the sale or other disposition of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit for use property in accordance with Section 505.10 of the revised code, if premature disclosure of information would give an unfair, competitive, or bargaining advantage to a person whose personal, private interest is adverse to the general public interest per BOE 0166 and ORC 121.22 G2. Those are the two reasons why we're going into executive session. And Ms. Allen wanted to make sure that that the second portion was transparent to the public. Is there anything else that we're leaving off?
Just one more question. Can we move the executive session, seeing as though I have to leave?
Oh, that you're going to have to leave. Okay, so where would we want to move that up to?
That's the only piece of information that we're going to be talking about, correct?
I'm not sure, but,
We can,
After the presentations of the student
yeah, 'cause
council.
I told Mr. Moreland to be here, he said about 6:15.
Who's that?
Oh, okay.
Who's that?
the property.
Oh, Mr.
Property
Moreland?
Surveyor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Maybe when he gets here, we can
Yeah.
go into executive session. We'll just make a motion,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
So, and then also with the presentations, which is item 3, there are several of those. So can we limit those to 3 minutes since we have so many?
Yes, I believe we had said 2 minutes.
Okay, so
Oh.
2 minutes is great. Yeah, because there are so many, we want to kind of
I understand.
get through those. And is there anything else, board, that we need to add to this? Yes, ma'am.
I'll go back to make sure I have who made the motion, was it Mr. Scares, and who made the second?
Vanessa Jeter Freeman.
Thank you.
Anything else, board? Hearing none, Ms. Allen, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Scares,
Yes.
Mrs. Jeter Freeman? Yes. Mr. Andrews,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
and Mrs. Bozeman.
Yes, the agenda has been approved with the corrections. Moving on to item 2, which is community comments. Do we have anyone here who has any community comments, Ms. Allen?
I do not have any, and if you remember,
Mhm.
you're going to do the.
Mhm. All right. So since we have no community comments, we're going to now move on to the Westbrook Village Elementary School Student Government Swearing-In Ceremony. So let me get my swearing-in sheet. Let me get my names. Let me get my mask. And we're going to go ahead and call them up?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Did you want the board to come up and shake their hand?
Sorry.
Did you want the board to shake their hand? Or didn't you want- I have no idea.
And parents, you're invited
all
to
get up.
come up and
It
award
doesn't
to the
matter.
student.
Do the whole board need, does the board want to all kind of?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll get up.
Where they coming?
The board's gonna all come up, and then we will call up, Zaria McKenna Woods, Mariah Johnson, Carly Terrell, and Ariana Montgomery.
Yes, and they're gonna be there. Okay. So you all can come on up if you would like. You can, you want to go on the other side? Okay.
Let's all go out here, because that way we're not that fair, okay?
Yes, parents, you're welcome to come and stand with your child if you would like. Unless the children are shaking their heads. Right, one second.
Okay, so I'm gonna say I, and then you're gonna state your full name. So it's gonna sound real muffled, but that's okay, right? Okay, so I, now state your full name. I do solemnly affirm that I will protect the interest and well-being of our fellow students, that I will obey and defend the guidelines of the Student Council and the Student Code of Conduct, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of which I am about to enter. I do solemnly promise that I shall faithfully serve the purpose of Student Council and shall at all times uphold its ideals and principles. All right, congratulations, you're in. All right, it's all, we have to, all right. Congratulations. That's so cute. Hey. Good idea.
Hold your gavel up.
Madam President, right?
So cute. Look at all those ladies running it, right? I love it. I love it. All right. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You look like a president. Thank you. Fantastic, thank you. Good idea, Mr. Scares.
Thank you, President Bozeman.
Thank you, I love it, great
job.
idea. That was so cute. Wasn't
That was
so cute?
adorable.
Yeah, I wish I had known because.
I know, right?
No.
I love it.
President's out today and that's what they do.
Okay, so it looks like now, where are we at? Let's see. Are you ready to keep going?
Yeah, presentations, I
Okay,
guess.
so we're going to now move into the presentations with our supplemental advisors. And you said we're going to keep these to right around 2 minutes. So it looks like the first one is the National Honor Society with Miss Jennifer Allen.
Yes, and I want to go in and make it clear that the advisors understood that some of them had equity fellows, some other things already planned. If they're not here tonight, so we're calling all names, but if they're not here tonight, they will be here at the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. So we're starting with Jennifer Allen.
Yes.
I think maybe this one, if you don't mind. We could pull that one out, would you prefer that? Okay. Is that one? No, is that one? I think that one's hot. Yeah. Yeah, I think. Let's get one.
So that, you just like do that? Yeah. It was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was on YouTube. I just went on
So the goals and objectives of National Honor Society, to organize and implement an evaluation of the National Honor Society activities, promoting academic achievement, community involvement, and leadership in the school activities as vital aspects of the district's educational mission. Providing a foundation for the promotion of leadership and service projects for the betterment of the school and community while maintaining a high scholastic standing and character. Students will provide community service, whether it be hands-on or fundraising for different projects. So the National Honor Society, since I've been the advisor the last 6 years, we hold 3 blood drives a year, and each of my National Honor Society students work those blood drives for community service. We also have done caroling at Friendship Village during Christmas time. We have made Valentine's cards for kids at Children's Hospital during Valentine's Day. Even with COVID last year, the students made Christmas cards, and we sent, because we couldn't go caroling at Friendship Village, we sent the Christmas cards and Christmas ornaments there. We still did we weren't able to do, obviously because kids weren't in school last year, we still got to do some projects, we just couldn't be near people. We did the Valentine's cards, we did the Christmas cards, but each year, non-COVID years, and anytime that some students are needed for activities, I get a call from the city, or Mr. Howard will give me a call and say, we need some students, can you get some of your kids together, we need help at the trunk or treat for Trotwood, or Madison Park had a helmet giveaway, bike helmet. So anytime I get a phone call that students are needed for community service or volunteers, I always get my kids together and they're always willing to help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Allen.
Okay, next we have Angela Bruno.
Do I say vertically? It's okay. That's all right, that's good, thank you. Good evening. The first supplemental I would like to talk about is for high school vocal. The high school vocal supplemental is connected to my role as the lead music teacher in the district. And this year, as we have music teachers in every building, we are looking at new curriculum. And so we have organized, our elementary music teachers have curriculum that they use collectively that cycles through the educational cycle K-5, and we are organizing that, and there should be an adoption for that soon. We've met, they have used that as a template. They've, what's the word I'm looking for? It's been a trial for them. They've been on a 30-day trial using it with our students. We also organized an instrument drive as we are building the band program district-wide. We have partnered with McCutcheon. I reached out with them and scheduled the instrument fitting. We did that in September. And through the board and the district support, we were able to put instruments in the hands of 77 new children that otherwise wouldn't have been able to be in our band program. And currently, we are in a process for a project district-wide to create an online music video of sorts. If you think about the Detroit Youth Choir, they have something that they've put out as kind of something that the kids were interested in, doing something similar to that. And so it's going to be district-wide as we come together in some real different trying times, just to put a message out of positivity that even those people that might not be able to come into our doors for performances will have the opportunity to see us and showcase the district and all the great things that we have going on between our staff and our students. Our goals for the high school program are to develop technique and vocal ability and to perform a varied repertoire of songs to create community and identity for young musicians. And there are state standards that go along with these as well. Students construct and solve problems of personal relevance and interest when expressing themselves through music, and examine how people from different backgrounds and cultures use and respond to music. And these music standards will guide our work this year, and we also have a goal to create the online performance that I talked about. We've aligned our goals to reach the highest potential for student success as they move into the high school performance program, leading into post-secondary opportunities. And I've also developed performance opportunities utilizing cross-curricular research-based practices to enhance the standards-based learning in classrooms pre-K-5, as we are going to also embark in having Muse Machines artists and residents in our elementaries. That program will run pre-K to 5, and there will be 13 new performance opportunities for the community and parents to come in and showcase things that our students are learning by way of the arts to expand on that knowledge. We will reach these goals by exploring music from other cultures and countries and demonstrate our understanding of music performed with good technique and expressiveness appropriate for the genre. And we will workshop with various directors and colleges to increase our knowledge of performing and learn about opportunities in music post-secondary. Additional to that is, I spoke about Muse Machine. I'm also the high school Muse Machine advisor, and we are also enhancing that down into the middle school, and we will have two middle school Muse Machine advisors, and that is all about bringing arts opportunities to our kids. Some of the artists will come into the building, and there will be also opportunities for us to go out to the Schuster or the Victoria, Wright State University's theater department, Sinclair, to go and see performances outside of the bounds of the city of Trotwood. And the goals for Muse Machine are to expose students to the arts performances and workshops, both local and beyond our community. There are also state standards that go along with that. As consumers, critics, and creators, students evaluate and understand visual and performing artworks and other texts produced in the media forms of the day. Students will join our Muse Machine Google Classroom that will be used as a central information place. All students are welcome to join Muse Machine and will have access to performances spanning music, drama, opera, Broadway, ballet, plays, and many other fine arts performances. They will also be able to go on virtual tours of museums all over the world. We will also have webinars and Zoom discussions with artists from many different arts organizations. The virtual platform actually allows for more students to be able to be involved in Muse Machine because it eliminates ticket costs and scheduling issues, as they can access most of the performances on demand. And that is through our Opera HD partnership with Muse Machine. And we're also, not only will it be available through them virtually, but we will have workshops for the students, and we can show it in our own auditorium where the kids in through 612 will be able to go to the opera right here at Trotwood-Madison High School. And we will also have the opportunity to perform performances like I stated. And then also in the district, our main vocal performance group is the high school singers. And it is very similar in idea as the choir where they are singing. However, it is much more involved, and the commitment is much more greater to that. In the anytime we go to perform, we have performed for Echoing Hills Christmas, their Christmas celebration at Carillon Park. We have sang at Earlham College. We were invited to their Gospel Fest. We have performed in New York City. We go on a spring break trip that for several years the board has graciously approved for us to go. And just all different things that we have been involved in. And as the performance venues are opening up, those performance opportunities have been coming into us as well. The main performing group for the district, at any time there is a request for a vocal performance, the high school singers are the group that performs. Students will
Run 2
develop.
minutes up.
Are they up? Yeah, thank you.
So that will be
Yes,
6
ma'am.
minutes, 2,
So-
4, 6, or what is it, 2, 4, 6? Because she has singers, vocals, and Muse Machine, right?
Yes, ma'am. And this is singers. We will participate in honor choirs and workshops across the state and beyond, and attend college tours when possible to create an avenue for students seeking scholarship opportunities. Students will create community through events for raising funds for our trips and needs as a performance group, as well as college fairs, tours, and other performance opportunities. We will perform at various venues across the state and beyond. We will workshop with various directors and colleges to increase our knowledge of performing and learn about opportunities there. And we have a partnership with Tiffin. They are going to come in at a date in January. We are looking for a date. I've contacted the new director at Central State, and so we will be there. And on March 30th, we have a plan to go to Kentucky State University and have a workshop with the director there, as those are all the HBCUs in our area that we can get to them very easily. And there will be a new choir program developed at Wilberforce University that they're developing, and there will be choral scholarships for students starting next school year, and they're in the process of developing that. And then they will get back to me when we can open up that venue for them as well. As a part of this year's trip, when I met with the seniors and they wanted to still explore, and parents were interested in still traveling, as part of the trip, we are going to include going to Howard University. The seniors wanted to specifically go there because of everything that's surrounding that university. We have an alumni that has graduated from Howard, and that will be 2 days in DC and then 3 days in New York City after that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we have Sierra Elam, Arts Club Advisor. She's not, okay. She'll be at our next meeting. Rochelle Eli, Commencement Coordinator.
So she just, okay, so that's going to be 2 minutes for this one since it's commencement coordinator. Okay.
Good afternoon or evening, everyone. Yes, my name is Rochelle Foley. I'm graduation coordinator. I thought this was actually, you were going to ask me questions about graduation, because pretty much everybody's been at graduation before and knows what takes place. But of course, I'm the coordinator, and what I do is I find the venue, I organize the activities that lead up to graduation. I create a calendar of events. Yes. I come up with a date. Our graduation is May 24th this year at University of Dayton. The calendar of events that I create are reminders, date, time, requirements for the seniors to know what's going to happen if they don't meet the requirements for graduation and be able to attend graduation. My whole duty is to create a successful graduation, a safe and successful graduation, and to make sure that the paperwork is done correctly, that I just make sure that it's successful. And, oh, by the way, and I need a keynote speaker this year, so if anyone is willing, I will send out a memo and ask if you're willing to speak at graduation this year. And that's about it. Do any of you have any questions or concerns for me?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is Michelle Goodpasture here? Okay.
So then that's
Senior Class Advisor, LGBTQ plus
that's 4 minutes for this one.
coordinator.
Hello. So I will talk about Senior Class Advisor first. So the goals and objectives of the Senior Class Advisor is to work with the senior class officers to plan and execute senior activities, dances, and shirts throughout the year. I also help out Mrs. Foley, Mrs. Eli, with graduation as needed. So one of the things that I do is I work with the senior class officers to plan and execute homecoming, not only the dance, but also the football activities. We also design, order, and distribute senior t-shirts. This year we're planning on doing 2, and that is currently what we are working on. For the homecoming events, we also do Spirit Week. We do the panoramic picture at the end. And then I also help out with graduation as needed. And what I mean by that is anything that has to do with the senior class officers. So all 4 of the senior class officers have to speak at graduation. So I help with the writing of their speeches. And then any other needs that Ms. Foley has, I will help with that. I was very happy to go back to a homecoming dance this year, and I know the kids were really happy about that. We couldn't have the homecoming dance last year, but we were able to still put together a homecoming event for our 1 home game, so that was really exciting then too. Okay. So the next one is the LGBTQ plus Alliance. We have been calling it the LGBTQ GSA, but we're actually thinking of changing the name to Diversity Alliance, because it would open it up and maybe encompass a little bit more. So the goals and the objectives of that club is to provide social emotional learning opportunities for students, to raise awareness and deepen the understanding of their own personal agency, inclusive practice, and for them to be able to have a community that they can, and a safe space that they can go to. It's an opportunity for them to reflect on topics that they bring up, that they are interested in, and for them to hear each other's voices and for us to hear their concerns and for us to hear what is on their mind. And also a place for them to sort of process through some of that. We meet every Tuesday, and in our meetings, a lot of it is we actually ask the students, what did they want? What did they want from it? And a lot of it is a place for them to come and just be them and to have a safe space and to have a place to talk. But we also have tried to incorporate the SEL opportunities. We talk about self-esteem. We talk about positive self-image. We had a speaker through our social worker who was coming in to speak with them this week, but it had to get rescheduled till after Thanksgiving break. And those, we plan to continue to do those kinds of things. We're working with a group called Visible and Resilient, and that group was given to us through, I've just missed the name of the group. Well, by Annie Blankenship, Student Services. That's what it is, Student Services. And so we're partnering with them to come up with curriculum for the group and to work with them about best practices. Thank you.
Okay, is Odell Graves here tonight?
Yes.
ROTC Color Guard and Drill Team and robotics.
So 8 minutes.
Good evening. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Graves, ROTC, JROTC. The first one I'll talk about, most everybody knows about, is our Color Guard and Drill Team. The purpose or the goal is to develop leadership and foster cooperation and teamwork. The other is to learn about and perfect Army armed and unarmed drill. We travel around throughout, obviously, the high school, the middle school, doing performances with the Color Guard, presenting the colors throughout the state. We've been to the State House. We've done it for the governor and for various state conventions. We also do competitions. We competed last Saturday. We placed 3rd place up at Kenton High School, and we compete throughout the entire state, as well as the region. For us, our region is Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Michigan, Indiana, excuse me. So the 5 states. So we competed all those. If we qualify from there, then we'll head down for the national competition as well. That's the Color Guard, and that's drill team as well. We meet the Color Guard meets Mondays and Thursdays, as well as the drill team, and in the afternoon. And we also, as we really start ramping up into the season, we'll start meeting in the mornings as well, just for all that extra practice. And we've got a slew of events from November all the way until April, to include us hosting our own competition. The next one is the Robotics Club. This is not probably as well known. It started a couple years ago. The goal is to develop, again, leadership and foster cooperation and teamwork, as well as the main goal is to learn about STEM, and we actually build and code a VEX V5 robot. We do compete with that, the same 5-state region. Pre-pandemic, we placed 3rd place. Should have won, but we'll get it this time. Had we won, we would have gone to the national level and competed there. So we're really pushing for that. The student focus for that is, again, they're going to learn teamwork. They'll go through the entire engineering and the engineering design process, the documentation. They've got to keep a robust journal with sketches, graphs. Plus, of course, they have to code the robot because it must be able to drive on its own and perform various things by itself. And then they actually have to then control it with the joystick. And the kids actually love that. We do have the competitions. The competition schedule has already started. We will have our first public event this Friday. That'll be during the daytime. And then the main parts kick off in February and March, with the national competition being in April as well. Fingers crossed that we can get to the national. That is limited to 5 people at this point for the club, just because the robot itself, the minimum cost is $1,500. We're trying to get the good one, which is a little over $3,000. So we only can afford 1 robot for competition at this point. It is open up to the students. 3 out of the 5 must be ROTC students, though. Pending any questions?
How do you get the money for the robots?
It's a combination. ROTC, up to this point, the fundraisers that we do, we've been using ROTC funds. So all the concession stands and things of that nature, we used to solicit support as well. And the Army for the arena, which is just the arena alone, which is a 10-foot by 10-foot, it changes every year. The minimum cost for that is $600. The Army actually kicks in and buys that for us, just because of how well we're doing. And then we beg and borrow from other schools, because the Army initially kicked out a whole bunch of robots, 2 for everybody, the cheap ones. There's some schools that didn't want it, so we scarfed all those up, and so now we can salvage the parts, and that's how we continue to build, especially as we break the parts.
Do we supplement any cost for any other supplement?
Most of them do fundraisings, you know, you'll see it as they come through, so that's generally what they do.
I think because this one is STEM, if we can put a little pinnail in that and double back, because it's one I think that we would want to use funds for, if at all possible.
Absolutely.
It is STEM,
We like that.
you
Yeah.
know, so,
Yeah.
Absolutely not, no,
Yeah.
I
ma'am.
think that should definitely be maybe a budget line item.
yeah, it should be out of ESSER dollars.
And way more than one robot. How many kids do you have in the program?
Right now, because of the competition robot, I can only allow 5, because it's a team of 5 for one robot.
Okay.
So if I have more, then I can allow
Yeah.
more students to participate.
So in order to grow the program, you would need more robots.
Yes, ma'am. Like I
Okay.
said, a regular robot is, like we use in class, is $500. The competition, and I have 4 of those, 5 of those. The competition is $1,500 minimum. What we want is a $3,000 one.
Okay. I agree with Ms. Jeter Freeman. It should be a line item, and the district should supplement that cost for the development of a STEM program and also increase participation.
It's not too late for that, right?
Nope. Sure not.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I have a question. Colonel Gordon, so are you saying that if you had more competition robots, you could grow the team to accommodate that?
Yes, sir.
Do the robots that you need for competition enhance the capacity of the students to code and to engineer?
No, the coding, whether you have the $500 or the $3,000, it's all the same system. And the coding program we have itself is no charge. It's just the components that go on it. So the $500 one is about this big. The $3,000 one, it can expand
But you usually
to
have
stand about this high, and so is able to do a lot more during the competition.
But you usually have to share robots among students.
For the team, the
For the
competition team?
competition.
No, because I only can limit it to just those 5 people. So 5 people make one team.
I got you, okay.
So you have one person, their entire job is just to do the journal. That's how intensive the journal
If
is.
she gets a second robot, we can take 5 more kids.
Got you.
10, and
Yes.
3
Take to
robots,
10,
15, and
15.
so on and so forth.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have that much interest?
Right now, I could probably field 2 teams.
Okay.
There is enough interest in that, not just because from 3 years ago or 2 years ago, there were some students, they're not in ROTC anymore, but they were asking, can they be on it? But again, 3 of the 5 had to be ROTC.
I'd like to see that happen.
Yeah. I think we can make that happen, Mr. Scarce.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is Aaron Hayes here?
Thank you.
Aaron is Future Promise of America Alliance.
Thank you.
I am definitely not as tall as Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Grace. All right, so my name is Erin Hayes, and one of my biggest accomplishments for this year was chartering the Trotwood-Madison FFA chapter. So there's kind of a little bit of a murky history. The state has told me that there was never a chapter, but I have pictures of people in FFA jackets and in contact with the old advisor. Either way, Trotwood is here. Basically, the Trotwood-Madison FFA is an associate of the Ohio FFA Association, which is then an associate of the National FFA Organization. And in 1988, we did change our name to the National FFA Organization to encompass the ever-broadening field and career aspects of agriculture, because we are no longer all about farming. So in our neck of the woods, we say it's no longer cows, sows, and plows, because we are raising the future, or leading the future chemists, future geneticists. We have engineers. We have people doing all sorts of things. So FFA is a career and technical student organization, which means it is directly linked to 3 of the courses I teach. The first is agriculture, food, and natural resources. The second, which I have 2 sections of, is the science and technology of food. And I did go ahead and affiliate all of our members. Therefore, all of the students in my class are Trotwood-Madison FFA members, which makes them state members and national members as well. And I started with almost 60 before losing several to back on track. So felt like I had a pretty good start. So I included the mission of the National FFA organization, which is FFA makes a positive difference in the lives of students by developing their potential for premier leadership, personal growth, and career success through agricultural education. And then my other goal was to expose students to a variety of agricultural career paths and have students experience different agricultural practices. And students get so much more out of this. I had really no way to put down all the different outcomes, but they're exposed to so many different things and so many different things that they wouldn't traditionally think of. So for example, we made 4 different products using pumpkins, and that was something they had never thought of. So we have 1 chapter meeting after school each month, and we also have 1 officer meeting. So my officers meet the week before that, and they are still actually working on our program of activities as we are new and still developing things. So I did include our chapter meetings on my form. Oh, I didn't print back to back. I did email that so they can email it over. I'm sorry. I was wondering why that stack looked bigger. And then I also included some duties of the Ag Advisor, or the FFA Advisor in an Agri-Science program. Some of the other events are career development events, which we call CDEs, and leadership development events, which are LDEs. The 8th or 9th of November, I took 2 of our students, their 3rd team member was unable to attend to the District 5 FFA Food Science Career Development event, where we actually, as individuals, they placed very well. Unfortunately, it is a team competition, so not having that 3rd team member, those go in as zeros, your average goes way, way down. But the 2 girls did well, they learned a lot. Other career development events and leadership development events we're planning on participating in this year are ag sales, ag communications, possibly nature interpretation or environmental science, that is up to them, and then public speaking as well. And then I also included the Ohio Quality Program Standards for Career and Technical Education Programs, which if you turn to Standard 9, it's Leadership Development, CTSO. So our programs do have to have a career and technical student organization, which for agriculture education is FFA. Do you have any questions for me? Yes, ma'am.
So it's open to students who are outside of your class?
It is not. To be an FFA member, you must be enrolled in an agri-science class.
What about the students at CTC? For
They-
instance, my son's in biotech at CTC.
So he would then join the CTC chapter of FFA, and they have, it's technically 1 chapter, I think, but there is an FFA chapter at MVCTC, yes.
So even though his home school's Trotwood?
Yes, they
Right.
affiliate through MVCTC, yes.
Any challenges that you might have facilitating your
Um,
FFA?
There's a lot of challenges that I'm currently facing, but a lot of that just comes as we're new and we're building the program. So, like getting participation, having students understand that we need to come after school and meet, and what it actually means, as opposed to, I mean, people hear agriculture and they're going to think the cornfields, the soybean fields. They're not going to understand that you can go work at Yoplait and be a flavor developer, or Dannon and be a flavor developer. You can go work at Purina as a geneticist who then in turn helps develop, certain dog foods. So just, we're working.
This is one of the new supplementals. Is there any possible way that Allerton Hill could possibly put something together that helps identify, what they do, maybe circulate that? Okay.
My question is, are we working with any of our local farmers? I mean, Trotwood is 2/3 rural.
Yes, so Boyd Hastings is on my advisory board. So
Yay.
another component as of a CTSO or a CTE program, Career and Technical Education Program, is you have to establish an advisory board. My current advisory board members are Boyd Hastings, who is a local Trotwood farmer. Mr. Jonathan Henry from Central State University. He runs the agriculture education program at Central State University. Camille Johnson, who is also in the agriculture education program, and she's actually coming to speak to my students on December 6th. I'm super excited. Sorry, I get excited about good things. Mr. Kevin McGee, who is the ag extension agent through Central State, and he is, I think it's that way. No, it's that way. You guys know where it is. I don't know where it is. Mr. Zane Fessler, who is one of our back on track teachers, but he also has a degree in agriculture education. And then Miss Lindy Connor as our district counselor. Did I say Miss Foster? Miss Foster is our administrator on that.
I just think that we need to get the information out. You talk about the lack of participation, because as quiet as it's kept, our students were pioneers in a pilot at Central State University, 5 of our students a few years ago, and they all got full rides in the ag program. So, I mean, there's so much opportunity.
And they are still talked about fondly by the Central State.
And yes, we do, okay?
People,
So, thank you, but we need to get that information out in a way that people understand the opportunities within the organization.
So did you reach out to establish the board that you needed to have for the program?
Yes.
Okay.
So as well as I could. If you have any local agricultural businesses you'd like to put me in touch with, I will definitely welcome that.
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for opening up a new chapter.
Right now, we'll have Monica Houston, the African American History and Student Government.
Good evening. It's actually the African American History program. I do teach African American history as a subject, but this is the program that's for all of our students that have an opportunity to learn about, I'm going to say history. Since life began on the continent of Africa, we all have some African heritage millions of years ago. We have been having an African American history program, I believe, for the entire 27 years I've been with Trotwood. And the purpose is to create a sense of pride and knowledge to all of our students. So many don't realize how special and wonderful they are. And this is a chance not only to learn more about the human heritage as well as African American heritage, but also to show some of the things that they're interested in and talented in. So for example, we've had an African American history even before I began at Trotwood. I have one of my colleagues who was a key person in it, Mrs. Bruno, always helps me with the music. And I'm sorry I don't know our new band director's name. I've gone to meet him, but he's not been available. But that is an essential part. Our children like visual as well as auditory stimulation. And they always are great in presenting. We also highlight different key people so they can learn. You know, Martin Luther King is great. I love Martin Luther King. I saw him once when I was about 9 years old. He didn't see me, though, but I waved furiously. But The point is, we all need to know about our heritage. So students are involved in that part of the program. The also, as important or more important, is to give our children a message of hope and an opportunity to think about what they can be or what they may want to be. So we always have a special speaker that does that based on the theme. I do have a theme. It's called African American History, MLK to BLM. Further than that, I have not developed. But again, Mrs. Bruno, our choir director, and other staff members work together so that we can help bring this off. It's not a Monica Houston show. It's all of us together. It's always well received. We present our program in February. I kind of got in my mind what we're going to do and who we're going to highlight. But I start working with the students initially just before Christmas. We do rehearsals in January, primarily after school. I need to find out when you have decided if they're going to have after-school tutoring with the bus this year, because it's important to let the students know if they have to stay after school, if they will need to provide a ride home. The last couple of years, it hasn't been a concern, because we had that and they had a light snack before they went home. And then more people could participate. I'm hoping to get one of my babies, Chris Wright, to speak. He had committed last year and some things happened, and I kind of told him he better be ready for this year. So he did. He's a businessman, as you may know, in Trotwood, a Trotwood graduate. Miss Ernestine Grigsby is his mom, and he told me whatever we need, no problem. Usually we give a small honorarium to our speaker, and there's no budget that I get that it comes out of. Usually, well, I have a new principal, but usually the principal handles that on administrative level. What else? Again, the rehearsal is after school. As soon as you guys let me know what our program will be as far as transportation, I can get started, because generally only the juniors and seniors either have access to transportation or can drive. If it's freshmen, which I've been able to include the last couple of years, then we have to kind of find a way, and most parents won't let them ride. It doesn't ride, no problem. It's just a great celebration. I have a plan. If we cannot have it in the auditorium because of COVID, then we will do it virtual. But we will have a program, and we will make sure these children have a chance to shine and to get something wonderful. So we will figure that out based on today's world. Any questions?
I do have one.
Yes.
I wanted to just, as a point of clarification, did you say February?
Yes.
Okay, I was just wondering, why wouldn't, is it possible for us to do maybe a 365? You know, I don't know, why, I know that in the past, we've always done Black History Month, the shortest month of the year, February.
Oh.
But could we do a 365?
Hold on. That's what I get paid to do. But
Okay.
what you do not pay me for is, every year, probably for 27, this is probably not, it's less than what you're asking, but we do an African American history question of the day. Somebody, we have a few people that they know, but I want them to have, like you were saying, a more cognizant view of history than not putting them down, but just Martin Luther King or Jesse Jackson and so forth. The teachers or the staff, I don't know if they will this year, they usually donate small prizes, gift cards, McDonald's, Burger King, little things that kids would like. And out of the batch of correct answers for the week, depending on how many prizes we get, they get the gift cards. And they read the questions every day, and they have until whatever, in the first period or whenever it is, put it in the entry box. So that's not 365, even though I would love that, but it is going beyond just one program, and that's it.
And that's what I'd love for. I'd rather us do the 365 instead of the one for us to figure out how to expand it past the February and do, No, I'm not saying teenagers. No, I didn't say anything about teachers donating. I'm talking about as a,
part of
yeah.
Well, you do know I teach African American history, right? So
I'm talking, yeah, I'm talking about us as an institution, yeah.
I'm ready, but it would be nice to really get them, the thing with teenagers, which you know, is to get them interested. And usually, at least in the beginning, there needs to be some incentive. It doesn't have to be any, $1,000 anything. But I also want them to have the audio, visual, and a sense of them having a chance, those who wish to participate. Because, like I said, if we can't do it in the auditorium together, maybe we can do it in 2 separate times to social distance. We don't know what's going to happen with COVID. If not, we can have all the participants in there, and we got those big screens in every classroom. So I love that idea, and if you give me direction on that or approval, we can work on what you're talking about right away.
I'd love to see that.
And let me add, if by chance there is an issue with using the auditorium, because I know that the school district, has to take different kinds of precautions, I would be more than welcome to extend to you either a sanctuary or a gymnasium, so you could have it. Virtual is great, but I don't think it warrants the same type of experience than an in-person event would.
I don't have any idea what our student population is right now. I know the auditorium is 600, so if we set up two seats apart, it would be 300. And if we set up 3 seats apart, it would be 200. I have zero problem. I want them to have the auditorium experience because I need the lights, the sound, the background, and all of these kids get to do all these different things. And probably, I've been in your church, but not in the sanctuary for a really long time.
It's very different.
How many people does it hold?
About 400.
Okay, so that would be close to about what we
Only
need.
if we can't make it work in the
Right, but we still couldn't
auditorium.
have all 400 because they still have to be socially distanced. Because we could see 600 at the school.
You let me know what you'd like to do. Not
I'd like
now.
to talk with you more about it
Not
later.
now. Not now.
Absolutely. Okay, so thank you guys for
Thank
all
you.
those ideas, and with the board's direction, we can implement some of those ideas right away. But let me know so I have at least a weekend to get started. No problem, no problem. And matter of fact, that's a good idea for my Black History class. That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Any more questions about the African American History curriculum or program? Any more questions?
I don't have any more questions, for you. Thank you very much.
All right, I have another one. I'm not done.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well,
I have
before you
student
go,
government.
before you do that,
Oh,
and this is just, statement purposes. It's to my knowledge that African American history right now is an elective. Is that correct? Yes, the class she actually teaches. A few months ago, or maybe this time last year, I don't know. I would really like to see African American history in a predominantly black school district be a requirement for graduation, not just for black students, so that every single student that comes through Trotwood-Madison understands the black experience, right? So every child who becomes an adult understands why there's racial or civil unrest. They understand it not because they wanted to take it, but because they have to take it. That doesn't have anything to do with you. I just needed to make sure that was on record. Maybe now is not the comment time.
Well, it might be.
Okay.
Give me 30 seconds.
It's the
I wrote
president's
this
job.
class. This class was written as a year-long class because how can you teach 4,000 years of history in one semester? And for whatever reason, and it was taught in that way an entire year up until maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So of course, whatever the school board and the community wants, I'm here to be of service. But world history is less than African American history. U.S. history is less years than African American history. And this is a little commercial. It needs to be a year long because I would like to teach it thoroughly, not just, short spans of time. So we might not be able to do that with all the things that we offer, and I will do whatever the board and the community decides. But I was very upset, if you can't tell, that I wasn't able to really give our children the full experience that I think they deserve. Okay, now I'm tired of doing that. I just wanted to mention, I didn't write it for half of you.
Thank you.
Okay, my other one is student government that I'm going to speak to you about. All right. The primary purposes are to perform public service activities, which we've already discussed, to be able to do it even in COVID. For example, we usually do something with the nursing homes. We already know that right now is not a great time to go physically, but we can do virtual visits to the nursing home and give service, whether it's reading or whatever, to that community. And we have a couple that we've partnered with before, such as Friendship Village, which is, of course, here in Trotwood. To learn and practice leadership and organizational skills, to learn parliamentary procedures. We also have field trips. Mr. Sears, I think you happened to be on one of my field trips. We went to the State House a couple years ago. Again, if we are limited because of COVID, I don't want to limit our students' experiences. Who, maybe we can come to school board meetings we have come to every year. So if we can't all come in here, then find a way that we can get that experience to the children. We also go to city council meetings. Once again, I'll talk with Mayor McDonald and see what the availability or the parameters will be, but we still want to do that. Many of you have been in my classroom. I'm so glad, ROTC, you gave me some good ideas. We always have induction ceremony, and I was trying to figure out how to do it with COVID. We haven't had it this year, we still will, and hopefully the Lieutenant Colonel like he always does. Also, maybe any of you at some time or another, our meetings are on Mondays, usually from about 2:35 to 3. Most of our students are leaders in many areas, and we don't want them to have to choose. We want them to participate in as many academic and intellectual activities as they can. So you are welcome. Just let me know when you want to come. They would love to see you and have a chance to meet you and really know what voting and being part of the community is.
That's every Monday?
Every Monday. Come first in case something happens. But pretty much every Monday.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions? All right. Well, please feel free to contact me. Please feel free to help me with anything or any suggestions. And thank you again, Mrs. Bozeman, for your suggestions and representatives. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we have Valerie Joe, Art Club.
Oh, she got here.
Leslie Thomas, World Language Club. Okay, and Rhonda Trailer Yearbook.
Is she here? So that means that's Mr. Bean.
And last but not least is, Academic Director here. Yes, he is. Mr. B.
Good evening. Or may, as I say to my students, what up? My name is Travis Bean. I'm the band director for Trotwood-Madison Marching Musical Machine of the Midwest. I'm very proud to be in this position at this time. Since I got here in August, the marching band has performed at Music Through the Streets, Battle of the Band for the 6th episode of Flight. Radford Trumpet Festival, Lane College versus Central State University. We did their Central State's post-game show at Central State. We performed at Inspiration Church. We performed so many. But we performed at all of those places, along with also supporting our football team at home games and that stuff. My goals for our band program, the first goal is to have an ensemble that provides musical entertainment for school events, public events, and band events. The participant outcomes is that students gain musical skills, discipline that transfers to life skills, and opportunities for growth and interpersonal relationships. Just for a quick second, I'm going to talk about interpersonal relationships. My godbrother and I were trumpet section leaders in high school. And I was in high school in church. His senior year, his mother passed away. I looked at my parents and I told them, you have a new son. That's what band does for these students when it comes to interpersonal relationships. My brother has family for life, and now he's a music educator. what it can do when it comes to relationships. I'm seeing relationships fostered before my eyes, along with, rigorous development when it comes to music school. Also, the second goal for the band is to go from the nest to college. My goal is to get students from their parents' home to somebody's university and their scholarship. So every student upon their senior year will audition and receive to participate in college scholarships to participate in college marching. These experiences have the potential to set students up for their careers by ensuring that their school is paid for. A lot of times parents don't know how their kids are going to pay for school. Well, why not give them the tools to where they can learn at the expense of musical college university. Our meeting times are Monday to Thursday, 3 to 6, throughout the entire school year. Band is live. We don't take breaks. We don't rain on the band, we don't snow on the band, we don't get hot on the band. So it's throughout the entire school year. However, for the winter and the spring season, I'm going to take the time, especially during class time, to really focus on building the concert line. We don't have all the adequate equipment, adequate music to do concert band, but I'm going to do concert band. I don't believe in having a band program without a concert. Without being able to read all these 12 skills, without being able to know your majors and your minors, circle course. So if these students be armed with that knowledge, along with being able to crank up and check it out. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share concerning that. There's a lot of room for growth in the program. We only have 7. I got to be senior today. The band is constantly growing, but we only have 7 seniors this year. So that means that we have a lot of time for growth and development of those that are in the band, those that are been here only for a short while. I have one baritone player. I'm so proud of him. He started out this year not playing anything. Now he's been a high E class, running the circle of course and circle fit, running the scales. He's really great kid. Like, I'm so ecstatic about being a band director at Trotwood-Madison. I'm so full of emotion. I don't know if y'all, read up on the colors. I'm gonna leave it, y'all can tell. I lead with my heart, and I'm really trying to do some great things for the band this year. We're also planning on going on a college tour where we're going to visit Kentucky State University, Tennessee State University, my alma mater, University of Arkansas Pineville, where we will attend Golden Lion Fever Day. Students will have opportunities, my seniors will have opportunities to audition at each university for scholarships. And we'll be able to get a chance to tour the music departments, eat at the cafeterias, and really get a chance to see what college life is like on each one of these campuses on this tour. We're also going to be hosting our own marching band competition. I'm not oblivious to the fact that Trotwood-Madison has had marching band competitions in the past. I've actually seen Trotwood-Madison a lot from the other side, from other rival bands and things of that nature, but it's so good to be on the Ram Nation side and be able to represent for you all, the community, and for the board and for our district. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Mr. Dean, first of all, I want to welcome you. I go to most of the football games, and it was good to see the band come out and perform. And I thought you all did a really nice job at the playoffs this year over at Bellbrook. I thought you all really represented the school very well. You were mentioning that you want to do a concert band.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel right now you have enough personnel to do that, or do you have to build personnel first, or how's that?
So the issue with that is that I have a good number of students. However, the displacement is not normally suitable for a concert, and I can't take a band that's full of brass to state festival and expect for them to get superior rating. It's just not possible. But what I can do for our own public performance is to purchase music that has what we call flex parts, where instead of them being separated by instruments, they're separated by voice. And we can actually kind of give the soprano voices in the band, the trumpets, something where we get the alto voices, the French one. Well, I have to know them, I have actually French one. But the alto voices and then the tenor voices and then the bass voices, but we can still get a good concert sound with, we have like the percussion equipment. But, we can get a good concert sound, but it won't be a traditional concert, but it's still.
So what is the need?
Right now, the need, for the main performance ensemble is marching band. Right now, we're in need of warm-ups. Right now, we don't have any. We got t-shirts, but there's been a lot of turnover in the band since we got t-shirts at the beginning of the season. But some kids kind of got the band and felt like, oh, it's not really, too soon and I lose a t-shirt, so things of that nature. At this point, we're in dire need of warm-ups. If we did go and get them price, I got an invoice across my desk for the number of $10,810 for 75 minutes. And the reason I did 75, although I'm only marching in 47 right now, I get a new kid every day.
How much did you say?
$10,810. So I get a new kid every day. I'm trying to march close to 100 students by next year. We started out with one trombone, I got 3. We started out with one baritone, I got 4. We started out with 2 melophones, I got 4. We started out with 2 trombones, I got 7. We started out with no clarinets, I got 2. So, the band's going quick. So we just need to.
That was going to be my only question is, how were you going about growing the band?
Well, it goes back to interpersonal relationships. When the kids realize that they like band, they friends like it. When the friends realize, oh snap, my friend is about to get a scholarship in 2 years to go to any school they want to go to. And that's how it goes. Oh, you can go on trips. So the more incentive, performance incentive, travel incentive, scholarship incentive, the more incentive, the more the kids want to get involved.
Do we buy warm-ups for the football and basketball teams?
Warm-up for basketball.
We had those from Adidas.
Athletic
budget does allow that, yeah. Yeah, we had those from, remember, the ones from Adidas?
Yeah.
Because we have to switch.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the band needs some warm-ups too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We can go right in.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. 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 Miss Allen, what fund would that come out of? The principal's fund, or do we have? Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, that would be awesome. And that's what this board has been talking about. I mean, we want to use those dollars, not just paying out, but paying in with our students, student growth, student opportunities. How many millions did we get in extra dollars, guys? 23 million dollars. How much are warm-ups?
Only $10,000.
I think it's like reasonable to say that we can help in that respect. That's what the money is for.
I think we'll find it.
May I add about the warm-ups? My plan for them is not for them to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the district.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm just here to assure you that they won't walk away.
Okay.
The district that I come from, what we always did, we bought 3 large totes, t-shirts in one tote, jackets in another tote, pants in another tote. We called your number, you came back to your uniform, you put your uniform on, you came back, you changed your clothes, you put them back in the tote, you take them to the athletic washing machine,
Yeah.
and you're good to go for the next one.
Okay.
So that's kind of the same system I'm going to use here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions for me?
No, I think we're good. Thank you. We need to.
That is it for today for
We can have our meeting.
So we only have a couple more.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got some good information today.
Yeah, we did. We should have been doing this a long time ago, because this is good.
And then we can see how we can help.
Yeah, how we can help and what the needs are and what the challenges are. This was good. So we roll into our executive session.
Is who we need here?
Janice, is our person here?
I saw somebody.
I
walk
saw
in.
somebody too. But even
Excuse me,
so,
Miss Hayes, I don't think she's talking to Miss Bruno. I'll have to catch her later,
Yeah.
maybe.
but, oh, he's here. He's here. Okay.
Okay. All right, I would like a motion to move into executive session to, let's see, we're gonna be doing the first part, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The second
I'd like a
part.
motion to move into executive session to consider the purchase of property for public purposes, the sale of property at competitive bidding, or the sale of other disposition of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit for use property in accordance with section 505.10 of the revised code, if premature disclosure of information would give an unfair competition or bargaining advantage to a person whose personal private interest is adverse to the general public interest per BOE policy 0166, and private interest is adverse to the general public interest per BOE, and ORC 121.22G2. So moved.
I'll second.
We're probably moved in seconded. Are there any questions, even though I read the same sentence?
That's okay.
Hearing nothing, Ms. Allen, will you please call the roll?
Yes.
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 Yes, we'll now move into executive session. It's 6:51. Where are we going to talk about? We are back. Moving on to item 4, which is the consent agenda. Let's see. So on the consent agenda, we have the approval of minutes for the October 7th, 2021 meeting, October 15th, 2021 meeting, October 16th, 2021, October 21st, 2021. We have item B, approval of the Mother Bruner Professional Services Agreements. Item C, approval of student activity purpose statement and budget. MH functional class, and then we have item D, approval of donation of Madison Park Elementary. I need,
Item E.
There was another one.
oh yes,
Yeah, we
item
added
E.
E.
I'm sorry.
Hand carry.
Hold on. Item E.
And should we read the resolution? What'd you say?
Oh, yes, item E was the resolution for the, let me see, it was for the associate's degree, yeah, yes, the resolution where we will now accept an associate's degree for a substitute teacher, whereas before it was you had to have a bachelor's degree to be.
Also in the resolution, we do have to increase the salary, as we had talked about, to 150.
Why don't we just read it?
Okay.
Whereas on October 28th, 2021, Governor DeWine signed Senate Bill 1 into law. Whereas Section 4 of Senate Bill 1 authorizes the Board of Education to employ any individual, quote, employ any individual who does not hold a post-secondary degree as a substitute teacher for the 2021-22. So that would not include this year.
It goes through this year.
Okay.
That's what it
I
does,
got you.
is go through this year.
For the 2021-2022 school year, only provided that the individual one meets the district's or school's own set of educational requirements, is deemed to be of good moral character, successfully completes a criminal records check as prescribed in Section 3319.39. Whereas Section 4B of Senate Bill 1 specifically authorizes the above action notwithstanding anything to the contrary in Sections 3301, 3319, 3319.30, 3319.36, and Chapters 3314 and 3326 of the Revised Code, whereas Section 6 of Senate Bill 1 declares Section 4 to be an emergency measure, thereby causing the above authorizations to go into immediate effect. Now therefore be it resolved, this Board of Education pursuant to Senate Bill 1 hereby declares that the district will use the following set of educational requirements for hiring of substitute teachers who do not hold a post-secondary degree for the 21-22 school year. Associate's degree, paraprofessional limited to the classroom they are assigned to. Be it further resolved, this Board of Education authorizes its administrators to recommend for employment substitute teachers who meet the criteria set forth in Senate Bill 1, including the set of educational requirements identified above for the 21-22 school year. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education declares that the rate of pay for substitute teachers shall be $150 per day. Be it further resolved that the Board of Education resolution shall automatically expire June 30th of 2022.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll move.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions?
Just one, and how, can we get a number, it doesn't have to be right away, the number of substitutes we're currently using?
Yes.
And if we can get that by building, please.
By when, I'm sorry?
Building, or do we
Oh,
just?
by building.
Right.
Yes. The number of substitutes we're currently using by building. Mhm.
She'll just get, are there any other questions?
Just one. In the resolution where it says meets the district or school's own set of educational requirements, what does that mean?
That is the associate's degree, and
Okay.
so we've set these two.
Perfect, okay.
Anything else, board? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Allen, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Ms. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Scares.
Yes.
Mr. Andrews.
Yes.
Mrs. Jeter Freeman.
Yes.
And Mrs. Bozeman.
Yes, the consent agenda has passed. Moving on to the board report, we have only one item, item A, which is the approval of the one-time payment. I need a motion to approve the one-time payment.
So moved.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions?
I don't have any questions. I have more of a comment.
Mm-hmm.
We want our staff to know how much we appreciate what you did to help mitigate learning loss through the entire pandemic and what you continue to do. And we hope that you understand that this was the least that we could do. Right? And thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments for the one-time payment? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Allen, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Scares.
Yes.
Ms. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Andrews.
Yes.
Mrs. Jeter Freeman.
Yes.
And Mrs. Bozeman.
Yes, the one-time payment has been approved. Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on to the treasurer's report, Ms. Allen.
Okay. So I have several things this evening to present for action. The first is the approval of the November 2021 five-year forecast that I presented at the work session. I asked for approval for that so that I can file that tomorrow.
Okay. I need a motion to approve the November 2021 five-year forecast.
I second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions?
Just a reminder for the public that we did review this at our work session.
We did. We approved this.
Not approving blindsided.
Right, we did at length. Ms. Allen went over this at our work session, as she always does every year. She goes over the five-year forecast. Any other questions about the five-year forecast? Hearing none, Ms. Allen, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Mrs. Jeter Freeman.
Yes.
Ms. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Andrews.
Yes.
And Mrs. Bozeman.
Yes, the November 2021 five-year forecast has been approved.
I'm sorry, I was trying to get Mr. Scarce is not being here. I could oblige with this for once. Okay. The next one is the approval of the October 2021 financial reports, and there are three reports. We did have a finance committee meeting this evening with my committee, with the finance committee members, Mr. Scares and Mrs. Jeter Freeman. So we did go over all of the financial packet. That financial packet is for the board and under the executive tab. But the three particular reports that I'm going to go over, the first one is a cash reconciliation for October. At the top is the bank statement balances, $4,617,523. Our investment balances total $32,320,063.04. We had outstanding checks and adjustments, and with both of those, the adjusted bank balance equals exactly to the financial balance on the system of $36,398,685.40. The second report is the spending plan for October, and that indicates our revenue that we received both through the month of October and fiscal year to date. It also indicates the total expenditures month to date and fiscal year to date. And then at the end, obviously, there's a cash balance as of June 30th, and that cash balance as of June 30th for the monthly actual and fiscal year to date is $31,409,587.80. And then the last one was the Finance Committee asked for a couple checks to be pulled, and I did pull those checks. So the first check that was asked about was a check number 97400, and this check was for $7,678, and it was for letters participant materials. The
second one was for legacy roofing services. And so this was for, to repair some roof leaks at the board office, ELC, and the middle school. And that was a total of $1,472, and that was check 97464. The next one was check 97404, and it was to Loving Guidance LLC, and it was registration for conscious discipline for administrators, and it was being paid out of Title I, and the total is $1,396. And it doesn't say, it was registration for Tracy Mallory and Ashley Anderson, Tammy Rizzo, and Ann Blankenship to go to the conference in Indiana. I think they've already gone to this. It doesn't say the date. The last one was a check for $10,102.22, and it was to N2Y, LLC, and it was for different things, unique learning systems, positivity bundles. It looks like social emotional, and it was from the student services department, and it was Tracy's area. So those were the checks that were asked about. And so at this time, I would like approval for those particular reports.
Okay. So I need a motion for the approval of the October 2021 financial reports.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any other questions about the October 2021 financial reports? Hearing none, Ms. Allen, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Jeter Freeman?
Yes.
Mr. Andrews?
Yes.
And Mrs. Bozeman?
Yes, the October 2021 financial reports have been approved.
And the last item that I had on 6C is an amended FY22 appropriations document. And again, if you look under the executive tab, I've added a document. Also, there's a hard copy in front of you to let you know what the changes were from the last time that I brought this to you. The last time was October 2021, and so there were only 4 changes. General fund, we had a change of an increase of $50,000 in general fund. Auxiliary services 401, there was a decrease of $10,085.34. Data communications fund 451, an increase of $13,743.87, and then ESSER, we had an increase of $365,525.61. And so the changes from the last time was $419,184.14. And what I'm asking for today is a total appropriation of $76,756,078.33.
Okay. I need a motion for the amended FY22 appropriations.
I'll move.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions about the amended FY22 appropriations? Hearing none, Ms. Allen, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Mrs. Jeter Freeman?
Yes.
Mr. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
And Mrs. Bozeman?
Yes, the amended FY22 appropriations have been approved.
And that's all I had this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Moving on to item 7, the superintendent's report. Dr. Cosby?
Okay, good evening. I would like us to start with the Care House Partnership proposal. If you'll remember, at our last meeting, we had a proposal presented to us from Care House. After looking over the proposal, it was determined that as we are a nonprofit like they are, and Ms. Allen, please correct me if I say it wrong, but we are not in position to just pay the $25,000 towards their lost VOCA funding, so we can't do that. We can pay for a service. so we could pay for a service, which would be this Present 360. But when we read through their proposal, we felt like that is something that we already are doing a lot of that work ourselves. And so we are working with them to potentially do a much smaller Prevent 360 program, potentially working with their parent engagers, student encouragers, and possibly social workers. We haven't worked at all the details. I've spoken, and our lead guidance counselor, Lindy Connor, has also spoken with them. And so we're in the process of trying to see if it's something that we can use. We do believe in this idea of reaching out to families and to students in a different way so that they are aware of child abuse and things of that nature. And so that's where we are with that. I just wanted to bring you up to speed on why we're not tonight voting on it. And I know that it was something that Mr. Scarce was very interested in, and so I have spoken to him individually about us talking with them about doing something else.
Okay, so there, even though it's up for action, we're not actually taking any action on this?
No action on that.
Okay.
Okay, and then the next item I have is approval of the personnel agenda.
Excuse me.
And,
Just one second, Dr. Casman. Yes.
Okay, even though we're not taking any action, we have to vote on this, and it can come back because it's on the agenda for action, okay? So, we would.
So I would request that we.
Table it? Do you want to we can table this, and that way we don't have to take a vote, yes or no? So I move that we table Superintendent's item A, the Care House Partnership Proposal, until further information is shared with the board on the disposition in which we will partner with the organization.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any other discussion about the Cure House partnering proposal? Hearing none, Ms. Allen, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Judy Freeman?
Yes.
Mr. Andrews?
Yes.
And Mrs. Bogan?
Yes, but we will go ahead and move forward with tabling the Care House partnering proposal. Okay, moving on to item 7B, which is the approval of the personnel agenda.
Yes, and the personnel agenda, anything that was changed, as you know, is bolded. I was asked about A6. That is because as people complete the units of the letters program, they will be, their stipends would be put on the agenda at that time. So we have A1, recommendation for the approval of the following certified resignations. A2, recommendation for the approval of the following certified adjustments and training credit position for the 21-22 school year. A3, recommendation for approval of the following academic supplementals for the 21-22 school year. A4, recommendation for the approval of the following certified event staff workers. A5, recommendation for the approval of the following certified staff for the 21-22 school year. A6, recommendation for approval of the classified letters unit training for the 21-22 school year. B1, recommendation for the approval of the following classified resignations. B2, recommendation for the approval of the following classified new hires. B3, recommendation for the approval of the following athletic academic supplemental positions. B4, recommendation for the approval of the following student workers for the 21-22 school year. And B5 is recommendation for the approval of the following classified staff to be used on an as-needed basis. B6, recommendation for the approval of the following classified letters unit training for the 21-22 school year.
I need a motion for the approval of the personnel agenda.
I'll move.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Do we have any questions about the personnel agenda, board? Hearing none, do we have any? Yes.
I see we have after-school food service, so are we doing tutoring after school?
Is that for 21st century? 21st century.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Oh, but the question still, are we doing tutoring?
Well, you know, we're doing the tutoring at the high school. We're doing the study tables. So I know
Okay,
we're doing
but
that.
to make up that deficit that our students have and need that extra, have we started doing tutoring in the buildings?
We are doing, like I said, that tutoring, and she has asked, the person who is doing it at this point alone. They have said that there is a need, a greater need, and so we are looking to continue to expand that.
But she's only doing it at the high school, so we haven't
Right.
started anything at the lower level.
Have we answered, could you answer that for me?
Through the 21st century, there are academic programs that are on, and
Okay, I'm specific in asking about the academic tutoring.
Okay, we will look into that.
Are we doing
You're saying that
academic, like-
21st century
Tutoring.
Okay, so this is where I am.
you
For our
want more?
students that are on that tier, and they need those extra supports, are they being identified and someone helping, asking them to, how are we getting them the extra?
Okay.
are you asking if there's tutoring outside of the 21st century?
Okay, I guess I'm asking,
Yes, that's what you're
does the 21st Century Grant provide academic tutoring, or is it programs? Like, I know that before, it provided more programming than actual academics.
There is an element of programming for that, special interest, those kind of things.
Right.
But there has to be, according to the grant, an academic tutor. So the short answer to your question is, yes, we've identified those students that are in that program, as students being in need of academic intervention, and there are students in academic intervention within that program.
Okay, all right, thank you. That was the, yeah.
But would you like to see more is my question. It
Yeah.
feels like you might.
Probably.
Okay, we will look into
I
it.
just want to close that gap.
I know. We'll look into that.
Any other questions, board? Let's see. Okay, where am I, personnel agenda? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, hearing none. Miss Allen, will you please call the roll? Okay. I'm like, where am I looking at?
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Andrews,
Yes.
Mrs. Jeter Freeman,
Yes,
and Mrs. Bozeman.
Yes, we have approved the personnel agenda. Okay, item 8, treasurer's comments.
I have a couple comments. I attached, again, under your executive tab, my treasurer's update. And just wanted to say that we had a very, very successful booster clinic on Monday. And we had 152 of our employees that actually received the booster shot. So I thought that was amazing. And then I just wanted to say, on the OSBA conference, it was an outstanding conference. I really enjoyed going to some of the sessions. One of the sessions I did go to was, it happened to be on board docs. So I picked up a couple of extra things that I hadn't learned in the last 3 years on that. And then had another one for how to prepare for upcoming negotiations, and that was led for negotiation. And then another one was reframing accountability after COVID-19, and that was spearheaded by Middletown Superintendent Merlin Stiles, and I thought that was an outstanding presentation. So you can see, and then I just put on my upcoming events is that Mrs. Bozeman will be celebrating the birthday next Wednesday.
She will what?
My birthday's on
Celebrating
Wednesday.
birthday.
Oh, okay.
that's one of the events. So, also, Mr. Scarce isn't here, but I wanted to extend my sincere condolences to he and his family, his wife Zaria, on the loss of their nephew. So I really wanted to say my prayers and my thoughts are with his family. And that's all I have.
Thank you. So the booster clinic was at the,
It was
here?
here, right here. It
oh,
was here.
so it wasn't at the clinic?
No, it was here.
Literally in this building,
In
the
this
central
building.
office.
Oh,
Yeah.
why didn't we use the clinic? The beautiful new clinic. I was just asking. Okay.
No, I mean, I think, did the clinic provide boosters, or did we talk to them
This was
about
through Premier
providing?
Health. Premier Health provided the booster shots. And that's who provided it before, but we actually went to their satellite sites, but they agreed to come on site and provide those shots.
So, is our clinic providing any boosters?
Our clinic, at this point, is not providing any boosters that I'm aware of, but I did send information about places that anyone can go and get them. Ms. Tidd was able to get that information for me.
Yeah.
And so we are working with, we just literally had a meeting with Five Rivers yesterday about how to reinvigorate the fact that they're there and what they do offer. And I will tell you this, they're very interested in working with Trotwood-Madison. They're, I understand that 2 years ago, prior to COVID, there was like a big push, you know, and it was a lot of fanfare and it was a lot of conversation. And then COVID happened, and so people didn't go out and didn't go there. They actually went from being open, I believe they started with 5 days is what they told me, and then they went down to 3, and now they're only open on Tuesdays. So the whole conversation yesterday was how to reinvigorate this. We came up with some marketing strategies. I will be going over and walking through the building with one of the doctors, and they will, you know, as we go through, they'll be highlighting it, and we'll be sharing that, posting it. We're going to have Allerton Hill get some information sent out about them. We really did come up with some really good activities to reinvigorate it, because I think it's just people forgot about the fact that there is this new beautiful building. So it's definitely no fault of theirs, and I would say it's really no fault of ours. It's just what has happened over this last 18 months. So we're excited about working with them.
Is it still just for the students, or is it also?
No, it's students, staff, and community.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that, like I said, people don't realize. I mean, you know, our staff members, if they're not feeling well, they can go there. And I talked to Mr. Howard about transportation, and anything after 9:30, if we needed to pick up kids from a building, let's say to go get dental checks, we could pick them up, take them over there. The biggest, I would say, barrier right now is getting parents to sign the consent. But once they sign it, it covers everything, and they don't have to re-sign it every year. As long as they remain Trotwood students, once they sign, they're good to go. So we are working with final forms, you know, how we do our registration. They had told us that initially, I guess whoever they talked to said, we had to print it off and have them send it back in. And so a lot of parents didn't do that.
Right.
But they said since then, they are working with some districts that use that type of document, and they believe it can happen. So we're working now to find out how do we make it so that it can be a document they can go on and write in as they're doing their other registration. And once that happens, I think it'll make it much easier.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no problem.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Allen. So next we have superintendent comments. Dr. Cosby.
Okay, well, of course, I'd like to, and I know Ms. President Bozeman, I'm probably stealing your thing, but I thought it was really nice today, the way you inducted the students into the student council. So thank you. They were very cute, the way they got up in the seats. They were so excited. So we have to keep the enthusiasm going amongst our kids. I went to OSBA as well. It was a really good conference. I attended some good sessions as well. And we did have, as I mentioned before, we had our choir participate. They sang. They came in their robes, and they really sounded nice. They did. And Miss Bruno was, what is the word I want to say, gracious enough to allow a junior to actually do one of the songs, and it was a very nice song, so that was really cool. So we've got a lot of things that we're looking forward to. We are collecting food, and we will have lots of baskets that are actually going to go to the Trotwood community that our buildings are putting together, and all the due date for those are tomorrow. I'll let you know how many we ultimately make, but my understanding is we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I saw that on the news. Yeah. Anything?
And that's all I have.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Dr. Cosby. Board comments, Mr. Andrews.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear the sports comments. I mean, they're like a
Commentary.
It's a commentary.
Yeah.
You have anything?
I'm not.
I'm always. I can't wait. I love to hear.
That's good to know. I'll get it now. But tonight, I wanted to say several things. First one, I really enjoyed the fact that we had the supplemental advisors here tonight. I think everybody, and I know I learned quite a little bit about some of the programs, and I think that was much more effective than just reading through a document that everybody kind of went through. I think that what we heard tonight, I would like to see, and hope I'm not stepping on each other, but I would like to see a lot of those things either summarized or headlined some kind of way on our district webpage. And I would also say that this is another reason that we should really look at trying to generate a newsletter, as we've talked about before, so that kind of information can get out to the general public and see what some of the really good things and really interesting things and the variety of things are that the district is offering. For example, the FAA, the robotics, and I'm just mentioning those two, but all of the presentations I thought were really good. And I took a page of notes, but I'm not doing anything. But I thought it was very positive. I'm very grateful that we were able to do that.
Thank you. Ms. Jeter Freeman, comments?
I really appreciate Mr. Nadir bringing the students here to be inducted.
Oh, yeah.
That was
That's
so
nice.
special.
It
It's
was.
like, can we have them all do that? And, we were giving out pins as they come, the little 100
Oh,
students.
yeah. We have
to order
successes. Yeah, so we need to get some more.
Get some more pins.
Even for our
Can you
students
order
that are
those?
doing the mission statement.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so we owe a few students a few pins, but I really love the tag team. They were wonderful.
They were so cute.
Yeah, we've got a lot of little leaders coming up.
Yeah, we'll have to order those pins and like go back and give all the students who did it a pin.
We have to do that. Yeah, and the teachers with the supplementals were very informative and passionate, and it provided a lot of good information. So I appreciate them taking their time this evening to come out and share that with us. And I think that's pretty much all I have this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Jeter Freeman. Ms. Moore?
Okay, I'm going to echo Mr. Andrews and Ms. Jeter Freeman and Ms. Bozeman, the fact that you started having our students read the mission statement. I think it was a very good idea.
Oh,
and it has really engaged students and in the district as a whole. We can see the talent we have in the district. Also, I want to say that having those teachers here tonight, we've got to do more of that.
Because, you're always saying, Dr. Cosby, we got some good stuff going on here. And then the board is like, okay, yeah, you can show us better than you can tell us. And tonight was evidence of that, okay? The fact of the matter, with $23 million of ESSER money, I think it's starting to click where this board, where our passion is and where we want those dollars to flow, which is in student learning. I mean, and whatever that means to the, how you guys organize it, that's the end goal for us. I, too, went to a conference. I was in LA, and I was at the National Black Administrative. Thank you.
Conference
I'm
ever.
still on that time zone.
Best conference I've ever been to in my life.
It was 89
Best
degrees,
conference
okay? And sunny every day, and then I came back here and it's cold. But I brought some information back for the board. We're going to talk about it in our retreat, but even more so, we've had a lot of incidents in school buildings with kids fighting and just the conflict. Well, it's happening all over the country because everybody was locked up during COVID, and now there's trauma in children. And that is what these sessions were about. How do we go back and help our kids? Because behavior is the language of trauma. When they are acting out, that is part of what we have to address, and not just expel them and not just put them in the naughty chair and all of those other things. Children will show you before they tell you, and that's how they show us. And there were a lot of good strategies, and I'll share it. Black history, oh my God, they had this table, and it's a Black history program, and it's a book. And I brought that information to give to you, Superintendent, and to Mr. Warner, because it speaks to what you talked about tonight. Can we do it 365, or at least, half a year or what? It is a curriculum, but it is so good that it's been adopted not only in districts, but in universities. Additionally, there was, staffing is hard right now. We are hearing that across the board. Our HR director should have been at that conference. There were HR directors there, and they were having job fairs right then and there, and they were hiring directors. They were hiring on the spot. They tried to hire me. Okay, okay, I go to California. Okay, but the bottom line is we just have to be where people are, and that's where they are. Everybody is being very aggressive in their hiring right now. I'm happy to see that we adopted the associate's degree and $150 increase for subs. I think that's going to be very instrumental in helping us throughout the district. And other than that, that's all I have. So thank you. I'll just share with you where we are. Oh, one other thing. I don't want this to escape us. We talked about the retreats because we have to go over this report card. And we have to go over the report card in a retreat with our current board and also the new board members that are coming. So I don't want us to leave here tonight without having some dates or something.
And thank you I sent out an email. I didn't text you guys to tell you to look at your email, but look at your email.
What am I looking for? Okay, just tell me. Oh, well, you sent it out, and I sent back. Those dates were good. Is that what you sent out?
I don't know. I didn't check it.
Okay. Okay. We were talking about, did you guys see it, the 29th and the 30th?
Yeah, and I was fine with those dates.
Either one of those, me too. One is Friday, one is Saturday.
Yeah, whichever.
Mr. Andrews, were you okay with one or the other? A Saturday would be like a few hours in the morning, Ms. Bozeman?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, just a couple of hours.
On the 30th? I'm looking at your email now, Ms. Bozeman. I'm sorry?
I would tentatively say yes.
Okay. Just so that we know that we need to get it on the books.
Yeah.
Okay, and that would be the report card, okay?
So then we need to make sure it's good with,
And then
They said it, I think they said
we'll
it
get
was
the
okay.
new people engaged.
You guys said it was,
oh, we got them from them.
Huh?
We already got the dates from them.
with the new people?
No, we have not.
Okay.
But yeah, but I will, yeah.
Yeah, the one guy, he said it would be good for him on the Saturday.
Okay.
Okay, Davis, what's his name?
Sydney.
Sydney Davis. He said the 30th would be good
So
for him.
you said the 30th, but are we talking November or December?
November.
So the maybe I got the wrong date, but the 27th is a Saturday.
Oh, let me
Is
look.
it 26th or the 27th?
Let me
Yeah,
look.
'cause
The
29th and
27th is
30th
a Saturday, and then the
Yeah.
29th and 30th is during the week, and then the following December,
Right.
whatever the December dates I gave you are the Saturday, Friday and
Okay.
Saturday.
It's the 3rd and the 4th,
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday in December.
29th or 30th.
That's, I gave the 6th through the 12th. I think it was like the,
The 6th to the 12th, so it's the 10th or the 11th
mhm.
of December.
Those will be the Saturday. It could be any of those days, but the 10th and the whatever is the-
11th, that's a
mhm, those
Friday
are
and
the Friday,
Saturday. And that was gonna be a retreat that we were gonna have. Well, we could just have the one retreat.
And it can be like the, I gave like a week, day of the week and then like a weekend.
Mhm. 29th and
Yeah,
30th is a
11th
Monday,
of
Tuesday.
December is not good for me.
Oh,
You said
okay.
what? I'm sorry, Vanessa.
11 December is not good for me.
Okay, how about the 10th?
The 10th is good.
It's a Friday night.
Or we can do the 20, the week after Thanksgiving is like that Tuesday. I think it's the. what's
Yeah,
that, like a
it's,
Tuesday?
the week
Monday,
after is
Tuesday.
the 20, okay, well,
And it would be like a.
29th or 30th.
Yeah, it'd be like a 5, like how we do a board meeting
mhm.
kind of thing.
That's a Monday or a Tuesday, guys. Tuesday's probably better. It's hard for Monday sometimes, but Tuesday the 30th? What do you look like, Vanessa?
I look good, but if we're doing the report cards, we gotta make sure they look good.
Well, we gotta make sure every board member can be here too.
Right.
First, yeah. Yeah, they can. Mr. Andrews? And I already, Mr. Warner told me he could do any day of the week, any time, so I just. Okay, the 30th.
Or we can take it into that December week.
Mhm.
Those days are-
Yeah, or we could take it into December if you need a
Like
little bit
December,
more.
like that week of December 6th, something like that.
Uh-huh. So that would be like the 7th or 8th.
Yeah, 7th or 8th or something like that. Here's my phone.
Superintendent,
I'm looking 7th and 8th look fine for me.
Miss Allen. Miss Allen?
Those dates.
Okay.
For me too.
All right.
Would there be a problem with doing it on a, since we already meet on Thursdays, doing it on a Thursday?
What day is that?
Oh, the 9th?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine too. I'm good any day that week.
I can do the 9th.
Mm-hmm. So we'd have a meeting on the 2nd, and then we'd have a meeting on the 9th, and then we'd have a meeting on the 16th. I'm good,
I
either
can do
way.
any of those dates.
Ms. Jeter Freeman, are you okay? We just have to ask Mr. Scarce and the new folks. I think, yeah.
So the 9th would be the report card date.
The 9th would be the report card date. And then, we talked about having like an update with the new people too, like a little short retreat. It could be after a board meeting, or it could be, like on the 16th, if they could come or stay or be here or something like that.
Yeah, that probably would work better. in
Because we're
December.
already here.
Yeah. So like you said, the 16th or the 15th? The 15th?
The 15th is a Wednesday.
So the 16th?
Yeah, 16th. Are you guys okay with something, a little something on the 16th? It would be after the meeting. It would be kind of long. That would be the only thing. I'm good. Mr. Andrews? Okay. We just invite him out on the 16th.
Get that down, got you.
Mhm.
All right, we got those.
So we'd have our voting regular meeting, and then we'd adjourn and go into.
And go into executive
a
session and kind of get them caught up on some stuff.
Yeah.
Got you. All right,
For the
sounds
purpose
good.
of, one of those purposes.
Got you.
Of bringing in.
Well, like it's more like personnel. kinda.
Personnel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sell a property. We can throw everything in there.
Everything so they can get caught up. Yeah. Okay. And then I guess now it's my comments. Yeah, all of the above. Everything y'all said was good. I didn't go to LA, but that is one of my favorite conferences. I do love that particular conference. I learned a lot when I did go the one time. I was at I think I told y'all I was at the presented at the Equity Conference this past Friday, and I was able to unveil the program that I'm working on, so I can talk to you guys freely about it. So it's a part of the 2-Gen program where we're trying to put together 2 generations of people. So the idea is that we'll have a parent take college courses with their students. So it'll be a parent who's already has some credits at Sinclair and their child who will be a college credit plus, and they'll work together to complete a certificate, not the same one, but a certificate, then on to their associate's degree. And so we've already earmarked some money for the parent. And it's amazing to me how data is, because this lady at Sinclair, she found 110 parents who live in Trotwood, who have students who we can pick from. And so she was like a little bit slow pulling the numbers from me, because she had to go visit her dad in Alabama. And so she was so apologetic, but I was just like, don't worry about that. I mean, it's amazing that you could even do that. And so she like gave me a list of 110 people. And so tomorrow's the day that we're going to sit down and I guess, call them. I don't know how I'm going to get it, I guess call them. But she gave us all the information, and we can just like pilot these people and say, okay, do you want to come back? We actually have the money for these people to come back and try a class or 2 classes to see how it goes. And of course, their kid can take a college credit plus class for free. They go to Trotwood, and we can just kind of see how it goes. And I think the biggest, I don't want to say problem, it's not even a problem at all. The thing that I have to we have to put together is support for the parents. I think the kids have support, in their classrooms, but the parents haven't been to school in a year, almost 2 years, and they have not completed a degree anywhere in the United States. Because, the data is amazing that they pull. It's like they haven't done this, they haven't done that, so they haven't taken any classes over the past 2 years, and, so they probably need some support. And so we're thinking of ways to maybe put some mentoring in for the parents to keep them engaged. And I don't know if I told you guys how this all came about, but the lady I work with, the dean, when we first met, we talked about just getting to know each other. And I was telling her that when I was a junior in college, I was talking to my mom. My mother went to Sinclair, and my mother worked at General Motors, and she was one of those people who kind of was working, and then she would get laid off, and she would go back to school like that. And then when she would call back to work, she would go back to work and forget about school. She was a stop out. That's what they call that, as a stop out. And so when I was a junior in college, my mom said, we were walking right around here at Salem Mall. She says, "You're a junior in college?" And I said, "Yeah." She was like, "You will not beat me out of college." And she went and she enrolled, and we graduated the same day. And so the lady, my dean, the same thing happened to her and her son. Her son was like about to graduate, and she was like, "Oh, you will not beat me out of college." And the lady who pulled the data for us, the lady that pulled all that stuff, she said the same thing happened to her. She was like, she has 4 kids. And she said, she told her son, "You will not beat me out of college." And so that was kind of like, we just couldn't believe that we kept hearing this same story over and over and over. Mm-hmm. And so that's how the idea came together. Let's not make it an accident. Let's do it on purpose. Let's let the parent and the child finish together, because it was like this friendly competition between my mom and me, as was the dean, as was with Carol. And so that's how the whole idea kind of came together. So, and it's just working out. It's amazing how it's just like, it's like all like just beautiful how it's all coming together. So we're really excited. So the money is there. We found out the money was there Friday. So that's not a problem anymore. So that's not an issue. I got the names, so that's not an issue anymore. So I just got to go through them. So I'm really super duper excited. So stay tuned on that. So thank you for sticking around and listening to us. Have a great Thanksgiving, right? We won't sit out here, right? Right. So eat all your turkey and all that kind of good stuff. And I guess that's it. I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Any questions? I guess not. Ms. Allen, will you call the roll?
Mrs. Judith Freeman,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Andrews,
Yes.
and Mrs. Bozeman.
Yes, motion carries. We're out of here. It is 8:54.
I do need to remind you, she was working on her project in leadership, and she has a huge announcement, but she sent, and I forwarded to you all.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
The virtual,
Her
graduation
yeah.
on Saturday morning. So it's virtual, if you can.
I will definitely tune into that because I do want to take a look at it.
Yeah, she has
She would
something,
appreciate that.
It looks
Yeah.
like it's really exciting.
yeah, something really big for Trotwood and Dayton schools. She shared it with you though, Dr. Cosby, right? That initiative and, that they're doing with our district and Dayton?
Yes, we're supposed to be meeting. We haven't had a chance to have the meeting.
Okay, I mean, it is an amazing program. It is something that we can do in our summer school program, or we can do as a supplemental, or we can do as a program as curriculum. So it's huge, and it goes right along with what we're already doing with ag and all of those other things. So, and it's a grant, and it's paid for.
I think I mentioned it to you.
Yeah,